right now for our co-main event, please welcome Handesson Ferreira.
Well, in our championship co-main event, we see a battle of Uriah Fabers A1 Combat. In making the walk is Boy Doido, which in Portuguese translates to crazy boy, which Handesson Ferreira definitely is. When he talks about fighting and the violence that comes with it, he gets almost a sparkle in his eye. He loves the ebb and flow of a gritty fight, and he hopes to put on a show tonight when he captures A1 gold if he's victorious.
TJ, there are many fighters who would think twice about taking a title fight on short notice, but we're looking at a man who would take a title fight on less than 24 hours notice.
Less than 20 minutes notice, baby.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, go outside right now. He is a relentless beast. He's an absolute savage. 18-5 over the course of his career, and not to mention 2 bare-knuckle victories over the past number of months. The most recent only 27 days ago. He feels like he is unstoppable right now, so when this opportunity came up, Ferreira was not going to turn it down.
Absolutely not. This A1 Combat Championship means a lot for your status as an up-and-comer in mixed martial arts, and Handesson Ferreira hopes to capture it tonight in our co-main event.
Introducing his opponent, Kevin Felipe Sampaio Cucini.
Making the walk tonight is Kevin Felipe. Originally from Sao Paulo State in Brazil, now training with Team Alpha Male in Sacramento. This is his second fight of his 2024 campaign. He was victorious back in January. He defeated Tony Charles via rear naked choke at A1 Combat 17. So he's got some momentum on his side as he's won his last 2 bouts riding into this middleweight championship affair. And we'll see how he can shine under the bright lights with gold hanging in the balance.
And Felipe, the best way to describe his fights at A1 Combat 17 really was an electric onslaught. He kicked off 2024 much like he did last year when he scored the rear naked choke in the first round. And post-fight, he called his shot, TJ. He said, I am ready for a title fight. He had one canceled earlier in his career. He wanted one now, and this is the moment for Kevin Felipe. He feels like he's never been better, coming in 8-6 as a pro, 4 knockouts, 2 submissions, and now is the moment for both of these fighters with the middleweight title on the line.
Till it's safe for this middleweight championship affair. 36 years old is Handesson Ferreira. 29 is Kevin Felipe. Felipe undefeated. And the gold hangs in the balance for our official introductions. Garrett Freitag.
Live from Sacramento, California, A1 Combat 19 now moves to our co-main event presented by Kudo Snacks for the vacant A1 Combat Middleweight Championship. Now we introduce first the blue corner, standing 6 feet tall, weighing 184 pounds, holding an impressive professional record of 18 wins, 5 losses, and 1 draw. With 5 wins by knockout, 2 by submission. Tonight he makes his A1 Combat debut representing Team Porrada from João Pessoa, Paraíba, Brazil. Please welcome Handesson Boy Doido Ferreira. And now we introduce the red corner, standing 6'1", weighing 185 pounds. After a dominating first round submission victory in his A1 Combat debut, he returns holding a professional record of 8 wins, 6 losses, with 5 wins coming by knockout, 2 by submission, representing Rex Team and Team Alpha Male, originally from Campinas, Sao Paulo, Brazil, now fighting out of Sacramento, California, Kevin Felipe Sampaio Cucini.
All right, gentlemen, been over the rules already. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Touch gloves now if you want. The sound of the bell, come on out, handle your business. Let's go.
Your referee for our co-main event, Mike Beltran.
Mike Beltran getting the assignment. It is a battle of Brazilians for A1 Combat middleweight gold. Kevin Felipe taking on Handesson Ferreira. TJ DeSantis, along with Johnny LaQuaso, we appreciate you joining us on UFC Fight Pass for A1 Combat. Here we go, co-main event underway. Felipe on the left side of your screen with the red tape. Ferreira wears the gloves with the blue tape. Going to work quickly is Felipe with the kicks.
Ferreira switching stances early on. You know, TJ, 3 of our 4 fights have gone the distance. There's a good chance this one won't.
Felipe has a finishing rate of 86%, 50% the finishing rate of Ferreira. Ferreira trying to get a dominant position here early, but Felipe hanging tough with it.
Ferreira didn't have much time for a camp, but then again, he's always in camp. 18-5-1, and like we mentioned, just 2 recent bare knuckle victories. He's absolutely dangerous. And meanwhile, Felipe, prior to his 2 recent submission victories, his previous 6 wins, all knockouts. And he was also one of the top-ranked kickboxers in Brazil before making his way to the U.S.
Now he's got that left hook in, does Ferreira. Ferreira definitely not one to shy away from a fight. His team, Team Porrada. You know what Porrada means in Portuguese? Mess him up, but not that kindly worded.
Combining that with Boy Dodo, and that's a dangerous individual. Right
Absolutely. And dangerous here as he's got that right hook in on the back. Felipe trying to make sure he makes the right move here. Not in too much trouble, but can't afford to make any mistakes here with the Brazilian on his back. 2 minutes down here in this championship fight.
Many would have expected this to be a vertical firefight, but Ferreira has the back and looking to lock in. Oh, nope.
Briefly had a face crush there with the rear naked attempt. Now trying to readjust. Might be in business here, trying to get a grip to put the pressure across the jaw. You don't necessarily need to get the forearm under the chin to get a tap. You can put the pressure on that lower jaw. And that's what Handesson Ferreira is trying to do right now.
Critical moment here for Kevin Felipe.
Still a lot of time to work here for Ferreira.
Ferreira only 2 submission victories over the course of his 24 pro fights.
We talk about the finishing rates of Felipe. He's a dangerous man in his own right, 86% finish rate. But right now forced to be defensive here in this first round of this middleweight championship fight. Ferreira elects to get back in sort of a top position here. Doesn't want his back against the mat. 90 seconds left in the opening round.
Great patience being showed by Ferreira. You wouldn't necessarily expect that, considering how violent and fast-paced his fights are.
And that's a good game plan for him. You got to call upon all areas of your mixed martial arts game, especially when you want to win at the highest level. And he's showcasing a lot of patience and dominance here early, as we are 4 minutes of elapsed time. Ferreira in top position here in the final minute of the opening round. Felipe able to get a close guard. Comes over the top with the elbow, does Ferreira.
The cage is going to keep Ferreira from moving too far forward, and back to their feet. Impressive.
Nice scramble there induced by Felipe, who gets back to his feet. He's trying to come forward and make some offense of his own, and Ferreira still very dangerous as he's light on his feet.
Once again, Ferreira switching stances.
Unleashing some devastating kicks to the body of Felipe. Now goes back to the takedown. Felipe able to get back to his feet. First 5 minutes in the books. What a fight.
That was not what we expected. Nonetheless, it was impressive. Ferreira spending much of the first round in control. It'll be very intriguing to see what Felipe does coming out in round 2.
Very composed, stuck to his game plan, did Ferreira, and we'll see if he continues with that approach. We talked a lot about the love of a gritty and grinding fight. Well, he made that one a bit grinding, but not in the way that you might think. It was the way of his dominant wrestling game, getting a takedown, putting Felipe on the defensive, and got a good look at this rear naked choke. Not able to get it, but Ferreira showing that he's very dangerous.
And Felipe has been susceptible when taken to the ground in the past. It's just been quite a while since that has happened to him. But credit to Ferreira for that first round, and we're ready for the second.
Round 2 underway. Or about to get underway. Mike Beltran, our referee. Again, TJ DeSantis along with Johnny LaQuasto live tonight inside the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Sacramento. It is the site of Uriah Fabers' A1 Combat 19. Appreciate you joining us. Live on UFC Fight Pass, our middleweight championship is underway with round 2.
Nice rangefinder there by Ferreira.
The movement of Felipe, it's different. It's not the way that Ferreira is moving, but you can see Felipe has a ton of power, comes high with that kick. And the beautiful left hand by Ferreira. Felipe trying to land with some shots of his own, but he gets taken down for his troubles.
Ferreira took advantage there, wasted no time. And he's got Felipe back on the ground.
Ten stoppages in the career of Handesson Ferreira, 8 of which come by knockout. But tonight, he is very much a grappler. And he's working his top position once again.
And looking to establish back control just like in the first round.
He's got that left hook in. Felipe trying to get back to his feet, trying to get away from Ferreira, but unable to do so thus far. And again, sticking to this grappling attack is Handesson Ferreira.
You know, for those of us who expected a firefight, it's been a lot more technical, yet just as impressive.
And again, impressive with the takedown as Ferreira sets up in half guard. Just under 3 minutes remain here in round number 2. Again, this for the vacant A1 Combat Middleweight Championship. Scheduled 3 5-minute rounds. Felipe working some elbows to the body from bottom position.
Ferreira just looking to exhaust Felipe, perhaps looking to make a pass in the side control.
And credit to Ferreira, he has not given up a dominant position at all in this fight. He's had the back a couple of times of Felipe, and while he didn't get the rear naked choke, he's been able to get back in a dominant position, never losing the offensive mindset of these grappling exchanges, and now coming alive with some strikes.
And Felipe is open after that combination of ground and pound there.
Ton of blood flowing from the forehead of Kevin Felipe. Handesson Ferreira, he likes it. He's in business, and now giving up his back is Felipe. That is a ton of blood.
And we still have a lot of time left in this second round. Ferreira has been surgical throughout these first 2 rounds, TJ.
Surgical, I saw what you did there. Blood happens in surgery, right?
From what I've been told.
Okay. Dragging him back to the floor once again is Ferreira. We saw Felipe a moment ago off his back just trying to wing some shots the way of Ferreira. That was right after he got cut. I think he's incredibly frustrated, and now this choke getting closer underneath the jaw. Ferreira bails on it.
Ferreira is relentless, absolutely relentless.
I mean, safe to say he smells blood.
Yes, he certainly does. Tastes it as well.
Inside the final minute of round number 2, the corner going to have their work cut out for him in between rounds to try to get that cut under control. Handesson Ferreira took this fight on short notice, and so far so good with this short notice opportunity. He's making the most of it. 30 seconds left in round number 2.
He certainly is, and we're really seeing the signs of fatigue with Felipe as Ferreira just keeps the pressure on.
And it's not just physical fatigue, I think it's mental fatigue as well, because Ferreira is just, as you said, relentless, not letting Felipe really get anything going in terms of his own offense or even just the ability to get away. Big elevation, and he throws him to the mat.
I mean, Ferreira is absolutely overwhelming, TJ.
I mean, he just picked up another 185-pound man and tossed him to the mat.
Felipe is going to have to do something major in this 3rd round because Ferreira has been beyond impressive in these first 2 rounds. He has been technical, he has been precise. You look at the strikes that opened up Felipe, they were absolutely perfect.
Absolutely. Ooh, Porrada indeed. Handesson Ferreira coming alive, and Felipe had some punches that he wanted to throw back towards Ferreira, but Ferreira took him down, and elbows are not fun, and you saw the handiwork there, splitting open. And the doctor, we'll take a look here, a cut over the right eye. Mike Beltran gonna call a timeout here as the doctor can confer with the corner.
That was a brief barrage, but it was so effective for Ferreira.
Let's take a look at some of that action again. That right elbow doing the damage from Handesson Ferreira.
It would certainly be very disappointing if they do not allow Felipe to continue, because we know there is no way he would not want to.
Obviously, safety is paramount.
Of course, yes.
Mike Beltran, a veteran referee, he makes sure that the doctor comes in technically before the start of the round. So if the doctor is called upon again, the fight can still continue, because the doctor cannot be called in twice in the same round where the fight continues. So Mike Beltran doing his part to let Kevin Felipe continue. And continue we do. 3rd and final round underway. A1 Combat Middleweight Championship hangs in the balance. Handesson Ferreira in control. Kevin Felipe has his hands full and needs to make some adjustments.
This fight has certainly lived up to expectations. We knew coming in that Felipe and Ferreira were 2 absolute monsters. But what many of us did not expect was the technical prowess and the dominance of Ferreira.
And it's been this grappling game that's been on display from Ferreira, and he gets another takedown early in this 3rd and final round. And you can bet he's going to try to go back to work with that ground and pound on the floor, that cut. You know, the corner did a good job, as well as they could have, to try to mitigate the bleeding, but you can see it's opening up once again here in this 3rd round.
If you're Ferreira, you have to feel very confident with your performance in the first 2 rounds, to where, once again, it's a little more of the same. He's got control here. He's got him up against the cage, and Now he's got back control.
The right hook in for Ferreira. And he wisely realizes his position and doesn't put himself in a position where he ends up in bottom, but fell off there for a brief moment and again goes back to try to make the adjustment.
Felipe's face is a crimson mask once again.
Look at you, Gordon Solon. 2 minutes down here in this third and final round. And this is just bully tactics here by Handesson Ferreira.
He's overpowering.
Again, muscling him back to the floor now. Some short right hands by Ferreira. We talked about Felipe not really being used to being this defensive. He's usually the aggressor. Definitely not used to being this defensive and this cut open. I mean, that's a hard thing to deal with.
Yeah, no, we're used to seeing Kevin Felipe dictate the pace. We're used to seeing him be the pressure fighter. We're used to seeing him march forward. And unfortunately for him, he's never really been able to get any kind of offensive arsenal. It has just been smothering. A smothering performance by Ferreira.
And he continues it now. Touch under 2 minutes remain in the fight. Again, top half guard for Handesson Ferreira. Trying to throw a hard back elbow is Felipe.
And that bloody canvas, that represents the war that we expected. And Felipe will absolutely fight until time expires.
He's got 90 seconds left to try to make something happen. Got to be careful with the knees there. Does Ferreira can't target the kidneys. I mean, that's just mean. He just stomped the back of the leg there. I mean, it's a fight. Make it hurt.
Felipe's fought his way back to his feet multiple times, and every single time Ferreira's able to trip him right back up.
It isn't for lack of effort by Kevin Felipe. He's trying to make something happen with some elbows of his own.
This is the kind of fight that you love to see on a mixed martial arts card. Two veterans who are absolutely fearless, who feel like they're at the top of their game.
And Handesson Ferreira about 30 seconds away from the biggest win of his career. Getting slippery here. Still offensive is Ferreira.
Not letting up one bit.
Final 10 seconds of the fight.
Ferreira jumping from 2 bare-knuckle victories to a possible decision victory here in a title fight.
Judges gonna tally their 10s and 9s, but the story of this fight was the grappling offensive of Handesson Ferreira mixed with his ground and pound. The elbows from top position really struck potential gold for him in this one. Cut open Kevin Felipe. And it's just hard to continue in a fight where your opponent, as you said, is smothering you with positional offense. And the second you feel like you might be able to get to breathe, you got to make sure you don't eat too many elbows or other strikes on the floor.
And Kevin Felipe is so technical. He is so incredibly skilled. We mentioned the 2 recent dominant submission victories. But Handesson Ferreira was just a different animal tonight. He brought a performance tonight that we haven't really seen from him before as we check out the highlights from this third and final round.
The story all night has been this positional dominance from Handesson Ferreira. And you can see the blood flowing from the face of Kevin Felipe. Ferreira really took control when he opened him up in that second round. Again, 2 Brazilians tonight vying for A1 Combat Gold. Nice sign of sportsmanship.
There's a deep level of respect between these two.
And you have to respect it. I mean, a high-level offensive game on display tonight of Handesson Ferreira. Not necessarily the path to victory we thought he would go, but I mean, that's what you need to do. You need to change things up. You have to expect the unexpected, and for Handesson Ferreira, he was able to pretty much do everything right tonight. And we expect him to get his hand raised and a belt wrapped around his waist.
Well, it's like what you mentioned earlier. Sometimes taking a fight on short notice can behoove you.
Right.
And you look at Ferreira, he just came in ready. Didn't need a camp.
All right, we are ready to crown our new middleweight champion. We go inside the cage to Garrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action-packed action, in our co-main event for the A1 Middleweight Championship, we go to your 3 judges at cage side for the decision. Your first judge, Chad Shepard, sees it 30-27. Judge Brandon Salcido, 30-26. And Judge Daniel Mobley, 30-25. All for your winner by unanimous decision. And now, A1 Combat Middleweight Champion, Handesson Ferreira.
Well, the crazy boy gets some crazy scores. 30-25, 30-26, and a belt goes the way of Handesson Ferreira. He's the new middleweight king. He'll speak with our Corey McKenna.
Okay, I'm here with your new middleweight champion, Handesson Ferreira. Handesson, you fought 3 weeks ago. You took this fight on less than a week's notice. How did you feel coming in here tonight?
Eu estou me sentindo maravilhosamente bem. Eu luto sábado agora, o outro sábado eu luto todo final de semana. Coração de gelo. Eu quero o campeão da 77 quilos. Next, Ryan Fabers, next fight, 170, Handesson, championship, brother.
I fought 3 weeks ago. I feel great. I'm ready to fight next Saturday. I want 170 A1 championship. Let's go.
Original division, 170.
Okay, well, I was going to ask you what's next, but you've already answered that. Is there anyone you'd like to thank here tonight before we leave?
A toda a minha equipe, Rony Marques, a Gustavo, a Érica, que está lá em João Pessoa, que torcendo, toda a galera de João Pessoa, Porrada Center, Rafa, me desculpa se eu estou esquecendo de alguém mais aí.
I want to thank Ronnie, I want to thank Gustavo, I want to thank Erica, I want to thank everybody at Porrada, the team at Bake, everybody in João Pessoa, Brazil. He's happy.
Congratulations.
There he is, the new middleweight king of A1 Combat. It is Handesson Ferreira, and sounds like he wants champ status already.
What an absolute professional. Grabs the middleweight title in a dominant performance, obviously indicated by the judges' scoring. And instead of just enjoying the victory, he says, no, I'll fight next week. I'll drop 15. Let's go down to welterweight. Unbelievable. What a performance.
And I don't question him for a second. I think he'd be ready to go in 6 days' notice.
Absolutely he would be. In less than a week notice, look at this performance. He came in as if he had a full camp. Impressive in every facet in this fight tonight against a very game competitor in Kevin Felipe.
Vicious and violent with these elbows, able to cut Felipe open and really able to bully him with a aggressive wrestling game. Got multiple looks at the back. And here's the look. Hands raised to the air and a belt going the way of Handesson Ferreira. He is the new A1 Combat middleweight champion. He gets it done in a big way tonight in our co-main event. Here we are, cage.